Are you ready?
Hello and welcome to the
no, hang on. I got this one.
Whoa.
I got this
Okay.
I got something for this one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Hello and welcome back to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive deep minute by minute into Frank Herbert's Dune, the cinematic version. The cinematic version from 2021. The cinematic version from 2021 by Denis Villeneuve. That one.
The one that was in theaters?
The one is in theaters. And
oh my God.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the one we're talking about. My name's Zach.
And I'm John.
All right. Today we are talking about minutes 28 through 29. Minutes 28 starts with Moheim continuing to explain the test, and it ends with Moheim asking Paul some very personal questions in front of his mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get there, but we got a lot to say about some like doctor-patient confidentiality, which doesn't
I don't
seem
think
to
those rules don't exist here.
Yeah.
Or like maybe there's like some loophole because Jessica is also a Bene Gesserit, so she's like,
I guess,
privy to that information as well. Privacy laws, what are they? They don't exist.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Yeah, so we start with the continued explanation from Moheim about what the hell Paul just went through, and the why behind his pain test. It seems from Moheim's explanation that the Bene Gesserit really see, like, outsiders of the organization kind of fall into two categories: animals or humans.
Yeah.
And which is a little reductive, but hey, we know whatever. And this test is to see, how they react. So she does say, an animal, if caught in a trap, will gnaw its own arm out. We want to see how you'll do this, what you would do in the same situation, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Well, we've seen what Paul will do, and he just fucking face tanks all of the pain and then just gets really mad.
Yep. So she had
not without a little help from mom, though.
Yeah, maybe so. So they had to figure out: are you human or are you dancer?
Don't. I saw that fucking look on your face. Oh my God. Fuck you.
No, if they're human or animal. And it seems that Paul is human, seeing that he is not dead. So I guess he passes.
I guess.
Yeah. But she goes on. She explains further that he inherits too much power.
Yes.
And he goes, because I'm a Duke's son. He goes, no, because you're Jessica's son. You have more than one birthright, boy. Again, this is Paul thinking small. He doesn't understand I know that rhymed, but he doesn't understand the
plans within plans and the centuries and millennia of planning and all that.
Yeah. Nor does he explain, or does he understand like the things that his mom has really taught him. I think it seems like to me, at least right now, that she just taught him a bunch of like cool party tricks.
Yeah.
And
she got him the like 101 magic set
sure
or whatever.
But he doesn't quite understand like the importance of it.
Sure.
Because that is, him having Jessica as a mother and having this Bene Gesserit training. That is, and the context for which, he was born, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. That is a birthright in and of itself. He doesn't seem to understand this. He seems to view himself as only the son of Leto Atreides, that will one day inherit the dukedom.
Well, that's all he's ever had to worry about in his life up until this point, too.
Yeah.
To be fair, like there was never any planned takeover of Arrakis and having to worry about like planning for anything outside of Caladan. Probably
not. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that Jessica has never explained the Bene Gesserit eugenics program to Paul.
Hey, guess what? So you're a lab rat.
Yeah. You're a lab rat. I'm a lab rat. Everyone's a lab rat.
Your dad's a lab rat. Your dad's dad was a lab rat. Yeah. How far back you want to go? We're all lab rats.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to assume that they have not, she's not explained that part to him. What do you think too much power here refers to?
I mean, it's Paul's ability to use Bene Gesserit tools and abilities. Because at this point, we don't know of any other males that have been taught in those ways. Maybe there are some that have been taught in those ways, but probably not to the extent that Paul has been taught by Jessica.
Right. Yeah.
And Mohiam knows this. You know, she's not stupid.
And you know,
that's why she does this test in the first place.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, given her additional context of knowing kind of what their ultimate goal is.
Yeah.
She's telling him, and I have in my notes, I think the too much power bit refers to, you know, the possibility that Paul is the Quiznos Hatterack. So this scene in the book is a lot more telling for the reader.
Yeah.
So it gives a lot of the stuff that we're meant to piece together as the book goes on. As the movie goes on, they just kind of give you right up front in the books. Because my thought behind this is as we stated before, this really is a movie about the Bene Gesserit.
Yes.
The book is not solely about the Bene Gesserit. There's a lot of different aspects to it. So we don't need to keep those motives and kind of like behind the scenes goings on secret in the books, because we got a lot of other stuff that is secret in the books. But specifically for the movies, we want to keep those things kind of close to the chest, slowly reveal the Bene Gesserit plans, and kind of like their role into this universe. We don't need to do that in the books. Paul basically asks, like, what the fuck are you doing? And she goes, well, we're sorting people from animals. And he goes, oh, is that because you control politics? And she's like, good catch.
Hey, look at that.
she's basically just like, wow, you got that with very few clues. Okay, cool. So they're very more upfront with this information in the book.
Yeah. Well, we talked about too. I think it was like minute 6 or 7 or maybe 8. It's in the second week of episodes where like the movie just tells you straight up like, hey, spice is important because the Spacing Guild needs it.
Yeah.
Whereas in the book, that is the big M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So just some minor differences, just depending on how you want to frame the story. Some of the information is better kept secret. So after we get those couple lines of dialogue between Paul and Mohiam, Mohiam calls Jessica back in, and she looks so relieved. So relieved when she gets back in the room.
Yeah, she's nowhere near as stressed. I mean, still a little miffed, but definitely not, trembling with fear. So
I mean, she comes in, and as soon as she looks up and sees Paul is alive, she's like, hell yeah, let's go, man.
Hey, look at that. You did it. And then Mohiam gets right to the point. You've been training him in the way.
The way. You've been training him in the way.
What is the way?
I was going to ask you that because that's not something that's mentioned in books or encyclopedia.
All right, cool.
Well, no, it's not explicitly mentioned. I do have a few theories, and I think they're pretty sound. But
I think it's just what they call just generic Bene Gesserit training with all of their like tricks and stuff.
Could be. It's very possible. I landed on, so the language that is spoken throughout Arrakis by the Fremen, it's called Chicopsa, which we will be introduced formally to later in the movie. I'm introducing it now because the Chicopsa translation of Kwisatz Haderach is the shortening of the way. So in my head, I was like, okay, so that's really one of the only places that we see that term, the way. So I think this is Mohiam asking Jessica, you've been behind our back training him to be the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yep.
You've been training him in the way.
You bitch.
Yeah. We'll never really know because she doesn't really wait for an answer.
Yeah, she just goes right to Paul and is like, hey,
nor was that a question, honestly. Yeah. I think it was just more of a, you've been doing this.
Yeah.
Period. On to the next thing.
It's like when you lie to your parents or whatever, and they know that you've been lying to them and they just immediately call you out on your bullshit.
Yep.
Like, but not when you're expecting it at all. Like you're just sitting at dinner and it's like, so you went out or you snuck out last night?
Yep.
No.
I don't know.
What are you talking about? But yeah, Mohiam immediately just turns to Paul and is like, all right, so you've been having dreams.
Yeah.
What's up with that? And not directly like that, obviously.
Well, no, and she says, so tell me about these dreams. Yeah, that's pretty direct.
Yeah. Paul tells her that he's been having many dreams, including this night. And they're all about the same girl on the same, on Arrakis.
Yep.
And then Mohiam asks, do you often dream things that happen just as you dream them?
Yes.
And this moment here, we're not going to get an answer for because the minute is over. But it's such a weird way of asking that question.
I thought the same thing. So I wrote down word for word. Yes, is do you often dream things that happen just as you dream them?
Yeah.
Again, a continuation of clunky ways to ask questions.
Yeah, that's like what
it's our second one.
Third, I think.
Second or third.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the phrasings that people have here are just very odd. Yes.
She could have just said like, hey, when you have these dreams, do they happen?
Yeah. That would be a better way.
Could have just said that and could have just moved on. But no, we got to be all weird with how we ask things.
Maybe.
Do you think she just like, she's that growing up, she was that kid that like discovered what a thesaurus was and then just started using like fucking obnoxious ass SAT words in just regular conversation to try and like seem
probably smart. I think that's safe to say. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the syntax in which people talk has changed over the 30 some odd thousand years that
no, I want people talking the way that we talk. Language is not allowed to evolve ever. Language
is not living. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We get a cliffhanger before Paul can answer.
We do,
which is sucks because I really like his answer. But we will get to talk about that tomorrow. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us on the site formerly known as Twitter. We are at Dune Minute. We are on Instagram as at the Dune Minute. And you can send us an email at duneminute@gmail.com. We will have a Linktree link in the show description. So if you want to just get direct links to all of our areas where you can interact with us, you can just find it out right there. And please join us tomorrow as we end the week, talking about minutes 29 through 30. A lot more important dialogue coming your way. So can't wait to talk about it.
We'll see you guys then.
See ya.